Hey, welcome back, everybody, to YaySTEM. Today we're doing Yay for BAM. We're trying to use this little time left in November and December to reignite a spark, not just in teachers, but in their students. It's that dreary time of year. And so today we have friends from our favorite apps to smash, book creators, Farmer Fobs here. From Adobe, we have and Cosma and MagicSchool, of course, our bestie Carissa at MagicSchool. And so we can't wait to kind of talk about how can we level it up and really start shooting off sparks. So I'm going to start with you, Farmer. If you'll just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and then take this whichever way you want to go.
I absolutely love it. We're shooting off the sparks, and we're making yeehaw moments with our peeps today. Super excited to be here from Book Creator and with my buddies Ann and Carissa. So yes, howdy y'all. I'm from Book Creator, and I love to make yeehaw moments with creativity and add a little spark. So howdy folks, and I'll pass it on to Ann.
Hey, everybody. I'm so excited for this conversation. My name's Ann Cosma. I'm one of the education evangelists on the Adobe Express team. And like Farmer Froms mentioned, we're so excited. There are so many possibilities for these tools, MagicSchool, Adobe Express, and Book Creator, to be used in tandem with each other to transform teaching and learning. But I love to use the words share, celebrate, and showcase learning. And to me, the ideas that we're going to jump into and wherever this conversation's about to go, I'm here for it. So I'm not sure who I'm tossing it over to next, but y'all jump right in.
I think I'm going to pass it to Dana next. I think, let's talk about this because looking at this screen right now and all the possibilities and things that have been created by students that teachers have facilitated, like how could we not have a smile on our face looking at this screen?
You know, I usually call this an egg smash, but I only usually like egg smash 2 eggs together. But right now I feel like I got a mixture bowl and I got like 3 eggs in there mixing something special up. So I can't wait to hear this because this is actually how like Chris and I got connected over social media, was when she app smashed all 3 of these things. So I can't wait to learn more. Can't wait to learn more and showcase this magical moments.
Dana, well, I think what to me is the fact that any grade can use this, right? And that's what we keep saying as our YaySTEM crew, is that everybody can do STEM. And what's awesome about this is my students created 2 books on here. They went into Magic and used the Adobe generator to generate images, and then I put those into a slide document so then I can show all my kids. Then I transfer those into a Book Creator book, and then they then go back into there and type in the information they need to showcase the images that they've created through Adobe and through Magic. So, and they just come out with amazing products, and it's not just an older student doing this. This is a first grader creating an image of something that is related to their interest and that speaks to them after reading, just a simple book as when a pigeon finds a hot dog. And then it creates these creative images that relate to them. And then I can teach other additional things like making lists and how do we use commas, where do we put uppercases and end marks, so then you can bring in all of those kind of grammar things that you need to bring in as well.
I just love the pictures. I mean, how phenomenal. I can't think of any tool that you could ever use. You could create something like this. You could have had them draw it as a kid, right? But this is phenomenal. And then your kids, first graders, which really and truly, Dana, you did this in what, August, September?
Yeah, like early on in the year.
Yeah, they're mostly kindergartners.
Yep.
Right? To kind of tell the audience, how do you tackle the kids that don't read well? I mean, there's some really neat features in Book Creator that make this attainable for every kid in your room.
Right. Well, and also Farmer can speak to this too, but what I love about it is that talk to text. so they can speak, and then it types it out for them. Then what also, if it doesn't come across exactly perfect, that's a teaching moment for me as far as computer science, but then also a teaching moment on when we're teaching grammar, because then it's like we need to double check what we're writing, because there might be something that we need to fix and
that
make
descriptive language and details. Like those kids start to go back and forth because they at first they might put hot dog with sprinkles, right? And they don't get what they really want. And Anne touches on this all the time when we present together. So I know she's bringing it in. It's just like AI prompting, descriptive languages. They go back and they really reiterate, like, what do they really want? And so it's not just them getting an image. It's so much more.
I think just to extend that idea, Farmer Frobs, what you said, we're so passionate about talking. We've all in our own classrooms had the experience of how do we level up literacy? How do we bring that kind of descriptive writing to life? How do you infuse the grammar, the structure, the syntax into the teaching? So whether you're using like a sentence frame or a chart or environmental print, every time you're prompting with a generative AI tool, and I love that Adobe Express is embedded in both MagicSchool and in Book Creator, but it's an opportunity for literacy. It's an opportunity to talk about language, descriptive text, details, nouns, verbs, adjectives, prepositional phrases, as dynamic as you want it to be. So Dana, seeing your first grade students, I'm a former first grade teacher, and I absolutely believe in even our youngest students can. So look at all of those images, how very dynamic and different they are. But it's exactly what Farmer Fobbs just said, is like, it is a language lesson also, whether that's for acquiring language, practicing language, or language fluency. It supports, and it's so dynamic across the spectrum.
Yeah. And Krista, you want to talk about your little project down here and how we can use it in a little bit older grades?
Sure. And I will say I'm in the airport. So if there's like gate announcements, I totally apologize for that.
Krista, your flight has been delayed.
No, we do not want that. I will say, like, I was running through this presentation and this slide in particular with my first grader, and he clicked into Dana's book that was the I Spy book, and he said, I want to go in and make one of those too. So that little picture with the pug on it and the duckies was totally inspired by him reading Dana's book. And he said, I can do all of this. And watching him click the buttons and click read aloud, like, let's face it, we are worried about our youngest learners being able to get in and do these things. Technology has been a part of their life for their entire life. It's different from us, right? They know where.
Not for me. What are you talking about? Not for me.
All these young learners, though, right, Farmer?
But they always know to look for that microphone. Yes. They know exactly what they are looking for.
Yes, and listen, like this story with second graders. They were getting ready to go on a field trip to the zoo, and each kid got to be an expert on a different animal. So they did some pre-work. They used the character chatbot. They chatted with their animal. They took down some notes. They opened Adobe Express Animate with audio. They shared what they learned in 2 minutes, right? That's a skill right there. Being able to take a second grader and take all of their learnings down to 2 minutes. And then put together these, like, look at the lips on this flamingo, put together these awesome videos that then we put directly in Book Creator. And why? Because now it's a class book. All of the families have access to what the students have learned. The students are excited to share this with families. We can take it a step further and print QR codes, and we can house those outside the classroom so that when other teachers come by, they can scan and show their classes exactly what these students have created. So being able to take a project that may had usually been, hey, we're going to read a book about an animal, and books are great, right? Keep the books, but usually there's not a book for every student to be able to access at their level. They're learning, and it's not cutting out a picture of their animal, not just drawing a picture of their animal or a diorama. Like, we're taking the learning to the next level. So I just think this is so exciting for us. How excited were these second graders?
There we go.
Oh, Carissa, get to the gate.
So I don't know. I think I've put my link in the wrong spot for mine. So high school science. Let's see if this opens up. Oh, good. It looks like it's going to. So sorry, you guys are seeing all my stuff here. So I actually took in each student group was in charge of one eye disorder, and then we united it into a class book, which is awesome, so they couldn't see anyone else's. But I used Adobe in a totally different way. So my kids, the QR codes in here are resources, right? My kids did some research, they had to add images, but what I wanted them to create with Adobe was an image of the perspective of what it would be like to look through the eyes of someone with these conditions. You talk about prompting. They thought this would be so easy. They were like, oh, I'll just ask it. What does it look like? And they're like, well, Ms. Townsend, it doesn't know. I was like, no, it doesn't. You have to describe blurry on the outsides, but you can see, or having a blind spot. And so that's these pictures here on the right in this book. That's what those are, AI generated to show what it would be like if you had this, you know, where your iris is ripped off your retina. And so it's funny, the kids totally jumped on like, oh, I want to be the one to do the AI. Because they thought it would be the easiest. And that one took them the longest. So
I want to just jump in on that, because what a deeply profound experience to not only build awareness and support the academic foundation, but that's a lesson in empathy too. If somebody has an eye disorder or vision difference. And wow, like that's a use case I've never heard before, Elaine. So kudos to you and your high school students for jumping in and using AI in that way, because that's not only a powerful learning lesson, that's like a life lesson in empathy too.
Well, and the thing is it kind of, this idea to put this together like this, I was Googling, what's the field of vision look like? And you just can't find images because you can't take a picture through someone's vision. So when, you know, Adobe became so accessible, became a part of Magic, it was one of the things, the first time I did this project, Carissa and I worked together on kind of putting some things, how could we do this? And I was like, well, what if we asked Magic? Well, then we started prompting it through Adobe, through Magic. And it was like, wow, this is not easy. So you have to actually tell it, I want to see a picture of a city street and I need it to be blurry in the middle. Like, it takes a lot of figuring to do it, but there's no good images out there for some of these, what they look like. So here we'll be able to invent something using AI. And so it's a really neat tool.
I show your book everywhere I go when I do an app smash on, you know, Book Creator and Adobe Express, but also a high school use case of how to use these two tools. I mean, we met in the spring, and I've showed your book all the time because that's such a special way to use creativity and use AI prompting. If you can get past all the nasty images of the eyes, you see that AI prompted, and people are just amazed. And another thing is, you guys did the somebody at your school did the plush mellows, whatever they're called. What are they called, Carissa? And it was really cool that the kids designed it on paper, but then the students were actually able to generate what it was going to look like in real life, and, you know, just made it come a drawing to life. And I think it's just really, really powerful. We always say, like, if you can imagine it, like, you can create it with Adobe Express. So we've seen so much stuff really come to life. And I love adding MagicSchool on top of it, because MagicSchool is such an amazing thought partner too. And Chris, you were talking about the animal project and, you know, the eye project and all these things, is as students are using these, you know, the chatbots as thought partners, and they're asking those questions, then they're able to make the imageries, then they're able to publish this book and Book Creator. And just like all three are just like literally in a mixing bowl that can be really just app smashed all together. So I absolutely love it. Amazing.
But also, if you don't do that research, right? If you don't start digging in and doing some of that research too, then you can't prompt it correctly. You know what I mean? So you got to have that. But if we don't start small and continue to build, then you can't encourage your kids to make these kind of projects. So you can start small and work on certain things, and then just continue to level up and build. And then the projects just keep getting more and more elaborate.
Yeah. And I tell you what, you know, there's a void, I think, for all of us when Flip went away. And I've used a lot of different things, but Book Creator is filling that gap for me more and more. I'm always trying to expose them to a lot of different things to make them think different. But being able to, and I don't think people know it, not just creating an image, but you can put your own image in. You can put your own video in. We're getting ready to totally change one of our big capstone projects in first year biomed. And like, I was showing them, I set up a template book and they're like, oh, this is really smart. Have them put their selfie on the front. I was like, farmer, right?
That's my girl.
Yeah, we're like sharing best practices.
But also, like, on top of that, not every kid may want to do that selfie. And so I always encourage them to go into our Adobe Express integration and prompt like themselves as an AI image too. And so like, a selfie ain't for everybody, but go in and prompt yourself. And I think that's also a cool thing is like, today we're going to use an image. Next time we're gonna prompt ourselves as a scientist or whatever, right?
That's a great idea.
So you can do things, just mix it up so they aren't always stagnant doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe every time have them become something different every time they add themselves to the page. So that's always a cool thing to do.
That's really a great idea. Well, I'm going to click to the next slide. And so farmers, share a few extra things here with us.
Yeah, I know this is YaySTEM, so I want to throw some STEM into this. And so I always like showing this with Book Creator, and it's literally it's like a blog post, but I did this actually with some kids and actually some educators. They can actually go in and like work on coding and shapes and everything. So all you got to do is it's teach coding with Book Creator. Really, really fun with the littles where they're like adding shapes on graphic paper. So super cool with the YaySTEM. But also going into the Adobe Express Book Creator App Smash. I actually did this with our students and teachers where it was career day. And so they all, so I actually had the teachers create and generate what they wanted to be when they grew up. And so also add their voice and also just being able to showcase that the kids can do this as well. So always love to show that. Then this other book was a really cool webinar between Sean, Anna, and I, where Anne took us around the world, and we went around and we picked everybody up. But it was really cool because it was based off of a book called Katie in London. And so Katie in London, it's like a watercolor. And so we kind of just used that same theme throughout this book. But as you guys can see, this has been published. These books have been published. And so I just think this, student voice, power of the pages, like I want to continue to just urge everybody is publish that student work, showcase the student work, because you and your students shouldn't be the only ones seeing it. Their parents, the other teachers, the admins, superintendents, publish their work, get it out there. And because every student deserves that yeehaw moment. And when they start to see that other people have seen that work, it's going to get better and better and better. So continue to publish in Book Creator and create those yeehaw moments.
You know what we're doing this week? Actually, we're talking about farm to table with some of our stories. And so I made like a little template from Book Creator. They give you a cookbook template, but there's only like 2 pages really in it. It's like an example, but then you just add your own pages. So my kids already have a start of a template. Then they have to think about their favorite food and then create their own little menu, our recipe on how to make it. And then we are going to put that together and then send out the QR code for Christmas of awesome. Like a cookbook that our class made.
I think that's just really cool because this is actually how we met, was you published the book on socials and I said, hey, I'm coming to town. And you're like, hey, but I saw the book and I feel like it made us just a little bit more connected. And when I went to visit y'all, like I had to tell them, like, I've seen this book, like this is just really, really cool. And those kids just light up, being able to see the analytics. But Dana, like imagine those parents getting that cookbook and even spending a little time during Christmas break and actually cooking a little something. So I want to see that book too, but an amazing use case. All right, Anne, give it to us.
I love that. I want to see that cookbook too, because what a special time of year to just come together as families and communities and the people in your life and share what students created, but then take it to like real life too. That's so cool. So as I was thinking about this, and Farmer Fobs just used the words like publish and share, and I think that's the best thing I love about community is learning with and from each other, and like what y'all are doing with YaySTEM. And I know the whole idea of keep Indiana learning, but literally educators around the world who are going to be listening to this, it's sharing ideas, it's sparking new possibilities. And we're talking about seasonal changes. And, I'm already joking with my friends where they're in the north. I live in Southern California. We're getting rain or sunshine, but winter is coming, right? So, like this time of year, how can we spark creativity? How can we continue those paths of innovation and deeper learning in the midst of all the things, right? And I'm so excited to tease out that the 12 days of creativity are coming soon to Adobe Express. If you're already clicking some buttons in product, wink, wink, you might see some of the things already live in there. But this is 12 days of learning and fun and guided activities that are meant to give students hands-on creative opportunities, but also like upskill how you're using Adobe Express in your creative process. If y'all are familiar for this, this will be the 3rd annual, and it's just a really cool, ready to use in product opportunity for teachers and students. But we're doing a creativity unwrapped session on December 4th that'll kind of like peel back the layers and help everybody jump in. But I just wanted to share opportunities to get connected. YaySTEM is a community. Keep Indiana Learning is a community. MagicSchool, Book Creator, Adobe Express, we all have these communities, but it's educators who are overlapping in the midst of all of it, and learning with and from each other is like a true gift in my opinion. So we definitely want to encourage y'all to check out that Adobe Creative Educator Leader community. But I think that to me is like one of the telling like things for this time of year is how do we keep going? Things are so busy.
The spark.
Right? Like what is the spark? And if the spark is each other, y'all, the spark is learning with and from each other. And then our students who have the opportunity to try new things or think outside the box, because we all know as educators what happens when we step out of our comfort zone, right? Like that's where the magic is. And so I love that the Adobe Express, AI generator is inside of MagicSchool. It's inside of Book Creator, because Fobs just showed you on the last page, we literally can go around the world. You can envision your future. You could create anything you want to with Adobe Express, and the way these other tools perfectly pair with it. Upskill research, talk to characters, record your voice and share it in new ways, translate your voice in new ways. Like the possibilities really are endless. And so it's a joy to get to talk about creativity, and it's a joy to like spend a few minutes just learning with and from each other. So thanks, y'all.
Yeah. All right, Magic Lady.
100%. And you know what? And you just made me think of this, like the importance of vulnerability, of not having all the answers, of, joining spaces to learn from other people, and to showcase your talents that maybe you don't even realize you have, but others are going to bring that out in you. I think about vulnerability in front of our students to show them it's okay that we don't know everything there is to know about every tech platform and AI and everything else, but like, let's learn together, right? And that shows students we're lifelong learners. That's what we're encouraging them to do. So let's like step into that vulnerability role, and maybe like that's a New Year's resolution, right? To not put so much pressure on yourself to know everything, but just try some new things. A couple other things happening with MagicSchool to, kind of relight that spark. We have an AI talent show, so super easy to enter. You're just showcasing those talents that we just talked about, the things that you're doing. You may think everyone else is doing those things. I bet not. I bet you have some really creative ideas. So there's some ideas right there on that screen. Our slides are also linked in the show notes, so you can find these, click all the links. And then the other thing is the CS for All, the Hour of AI, tons and tons of resources. If you click here, you'll go to the resource page. You can find one of the resources and activities happens to be an AI Future Innovators Quest by MagicSchool, but so many things out there to relight that spark, and to encourage just that like lifelong learning in kids and to try something new. I just want to thank you guys for being here. Before I pass it to Dana, does anybody want to share, like, what's your piece of advice, like, for this time of year, or anything that we've talked about, trying something new, getting connected? Like, I'm going to pass it to Ann first.
I was just going to say, try something new, y'all. And this is outside of education. I'm trying to learn how to crochet right now. And so, like, I'm not very good at it, but it's challenging me in new ways and reminding me exactly what you just said, Carissa. I don't have to have all the answers. But in education, it's a busy time with the holidays and the end of quarters and semesters and the, conferences. The holidays are always busy. And then throw in a bunch of extra breaks and holiday breaks and winter breaks. Try something new. You will surprise yourself. You will be delighted. But my guess is you're going to see engagement completely shift and interest that your students take in something. And that's what we want. We want to make learning sticky. We want to make learning fun. But it's disguised learning and it's hard fun. So try something new and let us know if we can help.
Me and Anders, like, make creativity sticky, create learning sticky. My biggest advice is get yourself a little mini cow or a goat, okay, y'all? And y'all, it's gonna add a spark that y'all didn't know you had. All right, that is 100% sure. Another thing is, I think for me, I love to have like brain breaks. I love to get creative, but I also like to learn new things at this time of the year where it's like I might be watching TV like I was yesterday. And I thought, well, I like to learn something new, but I also like to create. So I jumped into Adobe Express and I did their monthly challenge. And so I made like what is it called?
Plush cows.
Plush cow. I called it a plush cow pal. But I just use this time to just do some things that I usually don't have time to do. And it brings just another spark of just like, hey, I can still be creative in different platforms. I can just kind of have those brain breaks, and that just adds a little spark to me. Mm-hmm. But a goat and a sheep and chickens and rabbits, that also adds some spark. So that's my biggest advice.
Well, I would say just a little bit of advice before we close out is the fact that if you were thinking about drawing a picture with your students, or you're going to have them draw, get on Adobe instead, mm-hmm. or go to Magic or go to Book Creator and produce an image and have them do that. And what I do a lot of times is I give them a little time to work, and then I pull different kids back in small groups and then just help them with their prompting, that kind of thing. So it can be done, and try something new with that. We are going to be back in December, and we are super excited to smash some more things together, but we are going to be smashing with the Lit Gals, who are also part of Keep Learning, and their focus is literature. And we want to show how you can take a book or something that you're reading in your class and bring a little project-based learning to it through maybe a STEM project, something that you're doing maybe with Book Creator or maybe with Adobe, with Magic, and how you can just add a little something to that, or maybe a hands-on engineering project. And so they're going to give us 3 books, one at a primary level, like with me, one at a middle level, and one at a high school level. And then we're going to just shoot some ideas back and forth of how we can transform that into more of a project, and where you can just level that story up. And then we're also going to be at Purdue January 15th for their STEM Day of Learning. So if you haven't signed up for that, you should totally sign up and meet us there. We would love to meet you in person. If you want to look back at any of your seasons or prior shows with some of these same friends, you can. And we just have another slide that shows you how to connect with us. So again, you can look back at these and click on the links. So we appreciate you tuning in, and we are YaySTEM.
Woo-woo! Yay!